Hi, I'm Lady Grace, and I'm responding to your marriage rant video, part 6. I like that video a lot. I want to encourage you to continue to keep doing your good work. I want to give a shout out to Team Have Some. Yes, I'm a member. I follow you on Twitter. I keep up with most of your videos. There's quite a few of them I'm going to try to see if I can respond to. But you do amazing work. I'm very proud of you. At your age, you're wise above your years. And I pray that God will continue to inspire you. You are unorthodox, unconventional with the language and stuff. But it's all cool. You can see past it. You do have a message. So I want to go ahead with no further ado and get right into why I'm commenting. Okay. Marriage is a good thing, you know. Unfortunately, the world has twisted it all up to where it seems amiss, but don't let it fool you. Marriage is a good thing. In fact, the word of God says marriage is honorable and all in the bed undefiled. Whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. So basically that means when you married, your sex is holy. Why I'm going there, I'm going to tell you why. Society has gotten to that point now that whatever's good is evil and evil is good. And it's time for, if you know better, you're going to do better concept. Why you sit up here following the way the world got marriages to be? Oh, well, you know, marriages don't work nowadays and blah, blah, blah. Set an example. I used to admire seeing the older couples and hearing stories where I was married like 35 years. I'm like, oh, wow, what's your secret? You know, these women, they pose. They know exactly how to handle themselves. In fact, I've gotten a lot of marriage advice from older women, you know, telling me how to, you know, talk and be around my husband and things. But by all fairness, marriage wasn't, the whole purpose of it wasn't, oh, okay, well, I gotta be in love before I get married, so before then I'm just gonna just run wild, living, sin, you know, sleep with anybody. You know, it hasn't got so bad now that homosexuals are declaring that they should have the right to get married. And they fight so hard for it, you know. They being condemned and they know it's wrong. You know, even if the irony is the people that I do know are homosexuals, like, I don't even know why homosexuals want to get married. I don't want to get married, and they gay, and it's just, you know, what it is. Accepting it is what society wants people to do. Oh, you know, it's politically correct. You know, it's the right thing to do. And I'm not going to base this whole thing about that, but the word of God says it's not good for man to be alone. That was in Genesis when God first made man. You know, he made the animals, but they wasn't good enough. So that's when he took rib out of Adam and made us. You know, so that's why it's going to always be a natural attraction, you know, to a woman. You know, on the cool, the men that are, you know, gay, they do have an attraction to women. You know, they be dressing up and, you know, acting like females and things and whatnot. But in all fairness, marriage is a sanctity, a covenant from God, you know, between man and woman. The whole big ceremonies, yes, they're overrated. And the whole purpose of that is the law portion of it, to legally be married. You know, I heard a comment about, you know, several comments about common law, and I'll shed light on that. But you don't have to have a major ceremony. Going to the courthouse is good enough. Because if you're going to be around here shacking up, perpetrating, posing like you married, you might as well get the legal document behind it. Okay. You know, well, I got to be in love first. Okay, that is kind of like, that irritates me a lot because I hear people say that a lot. I gotta be in love. I gotta be in love. Okay, how do you define being in love? So what you're trying to tell me is, you in love with your children? That's kind of pedophilish type, sick type. If you want to be in love with somebody, you need to be in love with God. God encourages us to love everybody. He ain't tell us to be in love. And I hear, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack from this, but basically what I'm saying is this. That's kind of sick. And I know you love your children. You in love with your kids? I mean, come on now. You just can't base that, well, I got to be in love and love. When you're in love with something, you worship it. It literally become an obsession to you. And that's a sin right there. You need to put all your love into God. Be in love with God, you know. But anyway, common law marriage. And I'm speaking to the ladies now. Actually, that concept is more of a legal term. They accepted it because it was a lot of conflict, especially, let's say, for instance, people that were rich and had property. And when they died and the estate had to go through probate, it was an issue about marriage, and they were like, well, y'all not legally married, but I live such and such amount of years with this person posing as their wife, so I deserve to get half their estate. So in a sense, when it became so prevalent that people was doing it, it had become amended to where it was accepted. But as a female, why would you want to downgrade yourself? You doing everything that a wife is supposed to do, but then you don't want the legal paperwork behind it. You don't want to honor your dude by wearing his name and bearing his children. Come on now. That's the whole thing. Marriage is a covenant. Yes, it's a legal binding contract. However, yes, people do blow it out of proportion, but it is good. The word of God confirms it. Also, two people just don't sit up and be, forced against their will to get married. Ain't no guns put to your head, you gonna marry me. It's not like that. There's no signs of distress. So when marriage comes apart, it comes together. It's more like an inspiration, basically, from God. So when people get together in the name of love and then they decide to get married, that's a good thing. It's nothing evil about it, maybe you got some people that's seductive and trying to get over whatever, and the majority of the time that don't be the case. So basically what I'm trying to say is don't downgrade marriage because you see everybody, because if that's the case, you basically saying you a follower. If whatever they doing wrong, you gonna do just like the next person. Where if they get married and theirs get messed up, mine gonna be too. No, what you do is set an example for your children. Let them know, yes, me and my spouse, we are being faithful to each other. Don't look at them out there in the world. Just because the world burning up and falling and all and going HELL don't mean it has to be that way with you. Yes, I have a problem with cursing. I do not say dirty, dirty words. Sorry. But anyway, don't make it seem like as if, okay, well, they crashing and burning and it ain't working out, then I ain't gonna get married. I'm just gonna pose and shack up and live, like that. And then my kids ain't gonna know no better when they get older. Then when you see them in a bad relationship, whatever, you trying to correct them, they be like, well, you ain't did nothing. So set an example by showing them what marriage is all about. You gonna go through things. In fact, it's funny because people don't be in the word, but Paul pretty much warns you about marriage. He like this here, if you don't have to get married and you capable of staying single, do that. Basically, if you can't live without sex, go on and get married, right? But folks ain't gonna do all like that. They always try to put God in the box, put religion in the box, and put what they restrictions are concerning on what's good to do. Well, I can't do it right now because I got this, that, and this to do, but I enjoy having sex with you, spinning your wheels and wasting time. Then for you done wasted 15 years with this person, and then y'all don't get married. Okay, it was a comment about young teenage kids. That's my whole point. Set example. In American culture, and it's really pathetic, but they raise their children to be, what's the word to say? And I'm not saying it's okay to be pregnant at 14, 15, but let me give you an example. In other cultures, like the Hispanic culture, they have quinceañeras. Like the Jewish culture, they have what you call a bar mitzvah or something like that, where, they become men. For crying out loud, at that young age, they... what am I trying to say, Lord? Their reproductive organs are manifesting so that they can be able to procreate. You get what I'm saying? So it's time to get their mind right. You know what I'm saying? So it's natural for them to have a desire to want to have babies and have sex and stuff like that, but they need their parents to time to teach them and show them what's right. In other cultures, they have them babies young, because a woman's body it's kind of hard to explain, but by the time we 12, we discarding eggs. So by the time we 40, we in menopause. But the way the American society is, by the time they 30 and 40, they just not having kids. It's kind of having babies in your youth is good, but the way the American society is fast, but as far as the development and socioeconomic status is slow. So by the time you graduate with a degree, you're 25 years old. And in human natural existence, you should be already having babies, kind of get what I'm saying. But I feel like parents need to take time to explain to their children what's real. Stop trying to hide from them. You're giving them Android phones, where they got access to 4G service on the internet, and they can find anything they want to do, porn, sex, lust, anything they need to. But then you don't want to sit down and tell them, things that they need to do about their body and how to carry themselves. I don't know, I'm just talking to somebody, but I just was touching parts of what your whole video was about. Then it was a comment about, the money value has gone down, which is true. People are living above their means, and everybody want, and everybody can get. And with that being said, if everybody got, the value of money is going to go down. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the world, and the way the world follows the way the devil is. You start talking about Jesus, you get cussed out, condemned, burned down. They done took prayer out of schools. You try to, whoop your kids, that's child abuse. So the children is running wild. They getting in and out of trouble, you know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, your kids is then ran away, getting all into trouble, in jail. If not in jail, they doing sexual immorality. It's just crazy. So I just want people that's out there contemplating marriage. It's a good thing. Don't be afraid. Just, you and your partner, and I mean your opposite sex partner. You can't force me to give glory to that, because that's demonic. I'm sorry, the Bible condemns it. I will work with you because you God's people. I love you, but don't sit there and try to force me to make what's a lie from the devil to make it manifest into what's light. It's not. Marriage is a covenant between man and woman. And if your feelings hurt, then hey, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You just can't force that upon me. But anyway, if you're a heterosexual couple and you plan on getting married, do that. Because the word of God says it's better for you to get married than to burn, Because when you do that, you said you letting the Lord know, okay, well, I want to do right. And then you keeping each other accountable for each other. Most reason why most times marriages don't work is sin. And sin is anything that's against the word of God. If you're lying, cheating, stealing, committing adultery, all of that is going to cause problems in your marriage. So, of course, yeah. And then another thing, wife needs to know how to be a wife. So it's all kind of things, and I plan on doing that in my blog and posting, different subjects concerning that. And if anybody was watching this video and would like for me to touch bases more on marriage, let me know. But I want to go ahead and end it on that. And I just thank you, Cap, if you do post my video, mad love, respect to you and everything. And I hope you settle down. And the woman that's lucky to be Mrs. Handsome, shout out to her. Anyway, thank you very much for posting this. You be blessed.